Hello and welcome to Rolling with Reviews. I'm Will, and with me as always is the person who trained me with a cookie,
Sarah.
And today we're doing a review of Isle of Trains. All aboard! Sarah, tell us a bit about this game.
All right. Isle of Trains All Aboard is a card-based engine building game where cards have multiple uses. Cards get added to your train or become buildings. Cards are spent to pay for trains, cars, and buildings. Cards are also cargo and loaded onto the trains. Now, loading cargo and passengers into opponents' trains is very important, as it'll gain you extra bonuses. But this helps the other players get closer to their goals.
Dun, dun, dun.
Whoever scores the most points from their train, completed cargo, or completed contracts, and delivering passengers wins the game. All right, Will, so why did we get this?
So we got an earlier version of Isle of Trains, and that didn't have the passengers.
It was just a card game, just a little pack of cards.
Yeah. So we heard about this new iteration and wanted to see how it would improve because we liked the mechanics from the
we enjoyed
initial
it.
game.
Yep.
So
We backed the Kickstarter.
backed it. Yep.
Okay.
Got little metal bits too.
Yeah, we got the deluxe version and the metal victory points. They're little stars.
Yeah, that basically replaces all the cardboard bits in the non-deluxe version.
Yeah.
Because we have wooden meeples instead of just round
Right.
people tokens.
Yes, exactly. So, what do we like about the game?
The mechanics.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, they're very tightly integrated, and what you do has a big impact on what the other person now has capability of doing.
Right. The player interaction is very important in the game. It's not aggressive. You're not destroying anything for anybody.
Right.
But it's more of and I wouldn't fully call it positive player interaction. It's not negative, but the whole thing is
non-aggressive player.
It's non-aggressive player interaction because the outcome is kind of neutral. You can load passengers and cargo onto other people's trains, which gets you bonus actions, but then it gives them cargo, which they need to deliver for contracts to get victory points. So you're getting extra things that you can do, but you're contributing to them winning the game.
Yeah, and also you can there's always 3 levels to anything. Every card.
The engine and all that.
Now, you have to pay more, and essentially you pay the difference if you're upgrading, but it costs you more to upgrade. That's going to give you more points at the end of the game. You can hold more cargo, but whenever someone loads anything onto that, they get a bigger bonus than a lower version of the card.
Yes. So you've got this kind of pull of how far do I upgrade this, because you will need to upgrade them so that you have more capacity to deliver contracts, because contracts are the main way that, mostly the main way that you earn points.
And in the game.
And the secondary contracts require more. So you need to upgrade your engine for more capacity, the tanker to be able to hold more oil, because if you don't, you just literally won't be able to do that contract. But like you said, the higher level you go up, the better the benefit is when someone else loads a cargo onto that car.
Yeah.
So it's just it's an interesting negotiation type of thing.
Yeah, I think negotiation is the best term for this.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can't always choose, because it's not always just me going to you, Will, and say, hey, I want, you should load this.
Right.
I have to have space, but if for whatever reason on your turn you didn't load because you were paying for an upgrade or something, but I need to move my thing forward, I might choose to load to move it forward, but then that goes back to his turn, so he can't still load because I just loaded. So you can get into weird loops, and we'll talk about that in the what we don't like about this game section. But just the basic level of that interaction is very interesting.
Yes.
Where are we? I think that actually does cover everything we like about the game.
All right, now let's rag on it.
There's, at 2 players, this game, that player interaction loop just really falls apart, because when in that example, when my train gets blocked up, Will literally can't get better benefits, so his turn is negatively affected. And then it continues this cycle of no one can really do better activities because their trains are full because no one's helping each other.
Yeah. And it's also a complete choice of, well, I'll choose not to load anything onto your car. I know it's not an exciting game for me, but I don't have to.
It's true.
And then Sarah's like, come on, I just need a little bit of cargo. I'm tired. I don't want to keep just loading onto yours.
Yeah.
Or doing the same thing, because now she needs to get ahead in some way,
Right.
in some form. 2 players can just break the game.
Yeah. So that's unfortunate that 3 or 4 players just gives you more options. So that if that one player just, you can't load on their train, well, you've got somebody else to choose from, maybe 2 more people to choose from. And it also sometimes gets stuck when you have the wrong cargo. It's like, I want you, Will, to load on my oil.
Don't have one.
I'm like, but I need oil.
Don't have one.
And then it can get into a pickle when you don't have the right thing for your own train and no one else is helping you either. And you go through lots of card drawing as best as you can and you still don't get the resource. So there can, like I said, it can just really fall apart at 2 players, and having more people just gives more options and make it less likely for that player interaction aspect to break down.
Yeah. And I do know that there was also a little instance where you're like, okay, I need a crate.
Yeah.
I need a place to put a crate. I don't have a boxcar. There's no boxcars out there.
Yeah.
I'm drawing. I still have no boxcars.
Yeah.
That's it. I still have no boxcars.
It took me forever to get a boxcar. And then I still needed a card with a box on it to be able to put it on the boxcar. And it's like, I understand the random elements of the things, but it can get stuck sometimes for players.
Yes.
So speaking of it being a train game, it's very interesting. We found that, or felt like the theme was not as integrated. I think it's more because the mechanisms are so, I don't know what's the word. There's so many things going on with the cars.
Yeah.
The cards. There's so many mechanisms you have to think about. It's hard to also think about it being a train game.
Yeah, you lose sight of what this is all framed in. And I think that's also why a lot of games, use route building in train games, because that feels like a very train type thing to do. This mechanism is so tied up with, the negotiation that it doesn't feel like anything having to do with trains.
Yeah, sadly, I could not that I'd go around retheming this, but I could see it be other themes.
Yes.
And it'd be just as good, if not maybe better. I don't know.
I could definitely see that political negotiation game. And, you're building your embassy out and, like, how much capacity do I have to, do things.
Yeah. And then lastly, for it being an evolution from Isle of Train, it's not that it didn't add enough, or I don't know. Okay, so what it adds is tickets and passengers.
Yeah.
And I do feel that fills a gap in the gameplay that was, I didn't know that the gap was there before, but it helps you get through some of the points when it can get really boring.
Yeah, you had this kind of spiky gameplay when it came to the first game where you're saving up, boom, big turn, all the way back down. Saving up, boom, big turn, all the way back down. This game with the passengers kind of fills in those lumpy drops and kind of has you going on a more even keel up. Yeah, there are still spikes going up and down, but it's just not as noticeable. And those spikes were really bad in the fact that, okay, now I'm back to the boring part of the game.
Right.
This kind of helps. It's like a safety net that keeps you from always dropping all the way down to the bottom.
Yeah. Why this is in the what we don't like about the game is I think I wanted it, I don't know, developed more. I still feel there's some clunky parts to the game, especially, I guess it's just when it comes down to a 2-player game, which is what we play it at. There's still some really, there's some disconnects. It's hard for me to figure out what I'm saying.
Honestly, had to go back and I go, okay, all this seems so familiar. What is
What's new?
What is different? And we had to look at it and go, oh, passengers. yeah, okay. And then analyze it like, yeah, that does help. But it doesn't feel like a massive
Right.
step forward.
The other thing is, so we have the deluxe version, and yes, it has some nice fancy bits, but the other thing is it does have some Kickstarter exclusive
Ticket
tickets.
tiles, yeah.
The ticket tiles. And the reason why I actually feel that that's important is in the base game, there's exactly the number of ticket tiles you need.
Sure,
Now-
they can be
Yeah,
shuffled up.
They're shuffled up, so they're usually never going to be the same ticket tile at the same location from game to game. But you will see every single ticket tile in the base game every game. So having 3 new ones to mix in so that there's 3 that you're not playing with helps that variety even more, so you can't always rely on, oh, well, I just need to go to the location that gives me X. Well, that may not be in the game you're playing. So having that gameplay content be in the deluxe version is not great, because I don't know how long that deluxe version is going to be available.
Right.
And that's always my thing. I don't like it when gameplay content that can be impactful is locked away behind Kickstarter exclusivity or limited production.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's everything. So who is this for?
I would say this is a light game.
Yeah.
I would put it for midweight gamers and
Yeah.
heavier gamers.
So casual gamers might be able to play this if they're looking for something more challenging, if they're on that transition cusp.
I'd say it's still kind of it's too
Right.
much.
No, but it could be something they could learn into.
Well, you can learn into anything, really.
That's true.
I would disagree for this to be a casual game, even for a transition game.
Okay,
You agree it is, though. You think it is a good transition game.
I think it's a good transition game. I wouldn't recommend it for most casual gamers or family gamers, I don't think. But I think it could be a good, because it's still a lighter weight, midweight. It's that weird cusp between it's not light, but it's not medium. It's kind of in there. So it's not going to be great for a lot of the really heavy hardcore gamers unless they're looking for that filler game.
Right.
I don't know. It's kind of in that weird zone.
And for me, I agree with you that what you do is simple
Right.
and very accessible. I think the presentation of the game is what's inaccessible. I think
Oh.
a casual person looking at one of these train cards, getting over that hump of it's just asking way too much.
The initial overwhelming information because of the multi-use cards.
Yes.
Any game with multi-use cards is going to be confusing to most casual gamers.
Right.
That's true.
It's like asking anyone to operate a new TV, they have to read the instruction manual first.
true.
I don't
Yeah.
think most people then would use a TV. They're just
Yeah.
like, no, if I have to read that thing first and understand it, no thank
I don't
you.
know. Some new TVs are that complicated.
Yes, but some of the new TVs were like, oh, I'm going to help you through this. And
That's
like,
true.
Oh,
They have
well,
to
thank
get
you.
through it. Also,
You're so nice, sir. And or madam.
we would also say, though, we do not recommend this game for 2 players. Play it 3 to 4 players. The dynamic interaction is just going to be better.
Yes.
All right, rating.
So for our ratings, we each have 1d6 worth of ratings to give. 1 is low, 6 is high. We give a number, reason why, add them together and see what it rolled for us. Sarah, what did Isle of Trains, the deluxe edition,
All Aboard.
All Aboard
You did
roll?
that wrong. It's okay.
Well, yes,
Isle of Trains,
Nice.
All Aboard Deluxe Edition.
rolled for you.
A 3. I think it's a fine game. I don't think it's good for us because it just, the 2-player experience is a slog and it's not fun. However, I'm looking forward to playing it with 3 or 4 players. So I think for now we've agreed we're going to keep it because we haven't yet really had that chance to experience it at the higher player counts to hopefully get the full experience of the gameplay without any aspects breaking down. So I think it's solid. I think it's a hard sell because it is that weird quasi light medium game that might be too complicated for casual gamers, but might be too light for hardcore gamers. So it's hard to recommend. But it's good. So there you go.
And for me, I agree with you. It's a 3 because you need 3 or more players.
Oh, there you go.
No, this is a game that has some stinking clever mechanics built in. It has interesting choices and decision making. And forums, like you said, that very interesting negotiation that you just don't see in games. And in terms of it not being an aggressive negotiation.
Right. It's not diplomacy. You're not going to destroy relationships like that.
It's not, I'm going to bomb you. It's a, well, I offer you this. And the other person's like, no, but I offer you this. And you're like, oh, both of you are the same, but if I go with you, then you might block my contract, so maybe I'll go with you. And then you have this other negotiation that goes on. So metagame.
But the thing about negotiation that we've always seen, it needs 3 players.
Yes.
You need that dynamic element of choice.
Yes.
It's really hard to do that well in a 2-player game.
Yes. So 6 out of 12. Not the greatest recommendation.
But it is from a point of we haven't tried it yet, 3 and 4.
Yeah.
But we do believe that will be the better way to play it.
Right. It comes, from our 2-player perspective. No. Clever game, though.
Yes.
Super clever game. All right, Sarah.
Yes.
What's in the box?
What do you mean?
The crate that you're shipping. What's in the box, Sarah?
What's in the box? Meeples, of course. What about you? Nanimans?
No. Relics. They go in a museum.
Ugh. You and your archaeology.
Dun, 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 dun. And we've been Rolling with Reviews. Because it belongs in a museum. And remember, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach out to us on the various social media platforms at
Rolling with 2. That's TWO. We are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And on YouTube, please like and subscribe.
And if you have time, check out the other content Nanaman has found for you. Because remember, he's rolling with you.